Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, Patreon, and anything else I usually go about on Twitter X. Later today, we'll have that Stranding episode. And as a reminder, I already have some complete gameplay series here. And everything that I publish is on the main page of the channels and playlists. So let's go to the news. Um, Seemingly, on the industry front, MSI motherboards shipments witness a huge growth, which is good. Um, Myself personally, I tend to always, I think I always used, to my recollection, MSI motherboards at least, given that even when I was in my home country in Portugal, MSI usually is a brand that it's offers good price value regarding performance on the competition. Usually, I think the premium brand was Asus. Then we got the lower end of the things, which basically was ASRock and the such there. I don't think we had a lot of Gigabyte motherboards and other brands there. It's kind of a small market. That's why only like big manufacturers usually go about and they introduce themselves in that market. But yeah, even on this new round of new motherboards, specifically on the AM5 platform, I own MSI board. It's kind of middle of the road kind of a board, but supposedly it will support until the end of the AM5 platform, even at the latest CPUs, if not mistaken. But yeah, usually it's one of those that I always prefer there. Even on the GPU side of things, I'm not sure the last GPU that I bought in Portugal was 1060. So as you can imagine, was a long time ago. I don't even remember the brand of that GPU. I probably bought the cheapest one at the time. I didn't care. I don't usually care that much on brands, specifically when buying hardware. Usually, for example, on cases I would like to buy at the time, like 20 plus years ago, give or take. And again, I'm taking into account the market itself, so Portuguese market in terms of PC hardware. You don't have a lot of huge options in terms of variety of brands in that market. Sometimes you even have to order from Spain or France or something, or even German market, other kinds of stuff there. But yeah, usually with the cases, the more reliable was usually Cooler Master. Basically, in the from 10 years from now, we got a lot of huge brands that came out. From example, on the case side, Deepcool, Lian Lee's, and even Corsair expanded a lot of more their own market. So at the time when I was in Portugal, the choices was limited. But then again, all this rambling is to say that to a certain degree, I always had in my mind that MSI is usually a good brand, specifically on the motherboard side of things, to offer some value for the performance they usually offer. And it seems that they are gaining some mind share regarding that. Usually, what we always see is ASUS is always been a big brand, a premium brand to a certain degree, and the fact that all of these multinational uh, companies did expand what they can offer from in the hardware side of things, from motherboards then to GPUs, even to peripherals, monitors, cases, and all that jazz. And I'm not sure even coolers. I'm not sure that much. And even on the PSU side of things, again, they expanded a lot from I don't know 20 plus years that I started to assemble my own PCs and doing my own things there on the DR market. But yeah, it seems that what it's been driven a lot of these MSI boards is again they have surpassed 10 million unit mark for the first time in this first half of the year, if not mistaken. That's the where they got their number there, and it seems to the chipset that it's more popular. It's the X8070, even though my own board is a B650. I think it serves well enough. But you got the, I think it's the B, again, I'm not sure, the 800 series, the lower end, the 850. It seems to be replacing the 650. Again, I'm assuming it's a little bit of the brand thing there in terms of chipsets to give a sense that it's more powerful than the 650, but it's basically kind of the same thing to a certain extent. But yeah, and the Z890, which from Intel, again, it's been a while since I follow up chipsets from Intel. But yeah, they managed to stand out regarding this because, again, thermal design, again, aesthetics, each to their own. But yeah, they are also expanding budget-friendly segments. For example, the Mac B850 Mortar Wi-Fi boards. Again, they have a good lineup, and usually the not the VRAM, sorry, um, the power distribution usually it's pretty solid. Good cooling capabilities. Usually they can offer good USB on the side plate and even for the front end connections, SATA, and all that jazz. Usually, they have pretty good boards there. Also, MSI notebooks again, something that I forgot there. Notebooks and laptops and all that jazz. MSI, it's been a few years since they start bringing up on that own market there. Also trying to catch up with the SUS, I suppose. But yeah, even the notebooks, they are expected to reach around 2.5 million units in 2025, which is seems interesting. Even though they, and again, I'm assuming it's not only MSI, but I'm assuming a lot of foreign companies have seen a slight slowdown with the recent rounds of US tariff, which is all over the place. One time it's on, one time in the other day it's not, then it's a delay, then we increase, then we lower the tariffs again. It's all over the place again for any kind of company to try and predict and implement strategies to sell their own stuff. It's a little bit tricky to get around and not having kind of at least some predictability on the market. But yeah, they seem to be going well, and also the GPU division seems to be performing really decently, reaching around 5 million units and basically tying the market share with the SUS, which again doesn't give us any numbers there. Again, we got a lot of Gigabyte also, and then we got other brands that are sharing this market on the GPU side of things. But yeah, interesting stuff here from MSI. It's a good brand overall, at least that's my perception. But always don't trust too much on brands because, like any other brand, there are some products that are very good, others not so good. So always take it. If you can round up reviews or a certain specific hardware that you want to check, always check that before you decide to do a buying decision. Again, the more reviews that you can check out to have a better sense of if the product that you really want to buy, for example, even from a specific brand, is good or not. I think it's always good to check. The more reviews that you can see, the better that you have an opinion and at least a perception if that product is going to be the best for your case scenario. But yeah, this is it. Then we got a little bit more information regarding TSMC's, specifically the Arizona facility. There was supposedly this guy, the Fed guy, no, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, which doesn't seem to be a very bright guy, from what I understand. But it says he was in a podcast. I don't know the Olean podcast. I don't know this podcast what they usually are, but he did mention that even at this point in time, specifically with TSMC, this Arizona complex, it would only serve around 7% of the US chip demand. At least that's the percent, because in the article they said the handles only 7%, but this is supposedly the quote, which TSMC wants to build a giant fab system in Arizona, and I think it might be able to produce up to 7% of the chips that the United States needs, and they've been dealing with local building inspectors. I think there is kind of trying to paint kind of a narrative, which is something interesting coming from the United States. They always paint narratives all over the place regarding regulations, and they're saying local inspectors. Again, um, if I were somebody there that is trying to arrange investment or foreign investment in the case of the fab system, fab factory, sorry, producing this kind of high-end chips, I want to make it easier as possible for that company to build a manufacturing plant there. But with that, I think regulations are necessary because again, you don't want something happen like we did so with Intel a few years back, where there was, I think, a problem with the AC system, and then a lot of the chips were completely fucked up, and some of them went because of lack of inspections or regulations. That a lot of them, I assume, went to the market when we see a lot of degradation issues with some Intel CPUs. Again, you want to have things properly regulated. Again, overregulation can be an issue, but to a certain degree, I think you shouldn't, specifically in this kind of industry, not deregulate to a point that you're starting pumping up products that are not good, because at the overall strategy, it will only denigrate your own brand if things start to come up here. And I think, again, you can talk about, I don't know, how things work in Taiwan in terms of regulations with the United States regulations and all that jazz. But again, I think they're trying to make a narrative that it's not even a delay, that things are taking a little bit more time in starting up in this Arizona fab thing there, mainly because of regulation stuff there. Again, it can be a reason, but I think the overall and perspective here from the fact that the United States for basically 30 years, give or take, plus they completely butchered their own manufacturing base, given from chips to car manufacturing to basically they basically export everything that there was before manufactured in the United States to other countries, mainly to China, Indonesia, and other countries, usually South Asian, and to a certain extent also South American countries there. And the fact that it's been so long that you put all the manufacturing base outside of your country, all the supply chain stuff, all the industry that is dependent on the final product being manufactured in that country went away, and to introduce that in a country-wide level, it takes more time than if you just pause for a few months, something like that, and then you want to reboot, but all the infrastructure necessary to implement this kind of, in this case, TSMC, which is high-end chips, so all the machinery, all the qualified labor that is needed to not only manufacture the factory, but manufacture the final product of the chips itself, all the supply chains for raw materials and other stuff that needs to be implemented to, again, to make it this kind of, in this case, TSMC factory, to produce and launch products at a relatively competitive price. It will take a while, and I think they just think that it's, you just snap the fingers and things start popping out of the factory again. I think even with these guys here, for example, this guy thinks that you just snap the fingers, you sign a paper, and things automatically out of thin air start producing chips. Again, the things don't work like that, and I think there is kind of a narrative drawn up specifically for from this guy at this moment in time, regarding the fact that the plant of the TSMC is still not producing the chips at this moment in time at the desired level specifically. And again, as I mentioned, I covered this last week, even with the manufacturing starting up in United States with this usually Arizona fab, there will be a higher cost in terms of how they are producing this, around 20% or so more expensive than, for example, on TSMC in Taiwan. And it will take a while to catch up until everything is set up and there is, again, the supply chain and everything gets fine-tuned to make it a little bit more competitive and lower the prices there in terms of manufacturing, because yeah, it will take a while. And I don't think this kind of narrative plotting from these guys trying to excuse the fact that things are a little bit delayed, because again, they promised they're going to bring back manufacturing to the United States, but again, the overall gist is it will take more than 1 year to start implementing the changes that they want to do. Usually, things like in this nature will take several years. We saw this, for example, with China when they start to revolutionize their manufacturing production in all sides. It took them a while, and they had a lot of resources. They have the power of the government to allocate resources for this to build up, and even them took a little bit of while to go about that. But yeah, it's one aside here from the industry, and then we got continuing with the China theme. I covered this also last week, the Lisuan G100 GPU side of things, and now the company has officially announced two GPUs. Lisuan 7G 106 and where is the other one? Which is an AI one, G7, 7G105. It's a more for professional AI segment, so we got a little bit more memory, and it's got some specific stuff for the FP42 compute stuff there, and as such. But the interesting thing here is the 106 GPU. Again, the numbers that they are offering at this moment in time is more like synthetic benchmarking, even though they were supposedly in this expo, kind of mini expo there, they had some demo units going through Black Myth Wukong and Wuchang Fallen Feathers. But yeah, some specs were given. Again, 12 gigabytes of GDDR6, 192-bit bus interface, and it's compliant with the PCI 4 times 16 compliance. Again, at this kind of performance, there is not a mandatory to be compliant with PCI Express 5.0, but it got the 16 lanes there. Supposedly has 192 TMUs, 96 ROPs, and supposedly a maximum of total TDP. I always forget the D, but design. I don't thermal design power, something like that. Again, I'm sorry, of 225 watts. Again, supposedly can feature around about 4 display port 1.4a, which is, I think, the latest available at this moment in time. Supports 8K 60, again, AV1 codec, 4K 30. Again, it's not that big of a thing here, but again, for the power of this GPU, it's more than okay. HEVC, which is the X265 kind of a thing there, 8K 30, and the AV whatever, again, the code stuff there. Again, supports all the API stuff there also. And again, it seems to almost catch up with a 4060. And again, they say that they had demo units playing Black Myth 2 Kong at 4K high settings. They also show Wuchang Fallen Feathers running 4K high settings and 70 FPS. Again, this was all with upscaling enabled, of course. They supposedly own, they built their own upscaler, which is NRSS, which claims to be as good as the LSS FSR, but it's not mentioned if you utilize any kind of AI model for that. Again, it's a lot of benchmarking, some demos running stuff there on the benchmark side of things there. Again, it's first party numbers, take it with a huge grain of salt. But it seems to be a good start for their own domestic production in terms of GPUs. From Chinese market, it's going to be very similar what happened, for example, with the recent Archmage, the Alchemist lineup there. It will start up with very entry point kind of GPUs, and then they will, with upcoming new versions of the GPUs or lineups, they will improve little by little, I suppose, while they fine tune their own technologies, because again, they supposedly have their own upscaler there, so everything needs to be. I think they're going to do a lot of stuff without getting any kind of, I don't know, third party solutions. They're going to for sure trying to do everything on their own. And supposedly there's going to be some sampling starting August this year. Supposedly, they are also going to start mass producing this GPU in September. We'll have to wait and see how this goes by the end of the year, maybe early next year, to see if there is a possibility of starting to see independent reviews of this product to see how it fares within the market there. Again, my overall principle is the more competition, the merrier. Again, if this company really does manage to do at least some disruption on the market, specifically on the entry level point, and bringing some decent GPU performance at a very good price, which Chinese companies can do because, again, they have a huge manufacturing infrastructure. If they start to cater to international markets at having something, I don't know, 40 60 kind of level on the high end, maybe delivering something equivalent to a 70 class card, comparatively with NVIDIA GPUs at a very good price. I don't know, maybe we'll get something decent. We'll have to wait and see, but until then, I think we are only going to have some more details and more insight of how this kind of GPUs will perform and what kind of price, because there is no price given. There are no frequencies also given how they operate in terms of frequencies. We only have like very broad specifications of this new GPU. But I'm curious to see, again, if the GPUs are good, it can be Chinese, can be Martian, it can be from Saturn. I don't care, as long as they function properly and they deliver a competitive price. Again, it will only push the other brands to try to bring more competitive prices and products to the market itself, and by the end we all benefit from that. But yeah, interesting stuff to see. In terms of games, we got a little bit more on Lost Soul side. Again, there was the open beta, or no, I think it was a closed beta. I'm not sure if it all. I don't remember. I think it was for for PlayStation and also PC, because the game will come out at the same time, if not mistaken, from PC and PlayStation platforms. Again, this is a Chinese YouTuber. Again, there is no. At least I didn't make that far on trying to see if there was any kind of English subtitles, something like that. So all the audio and the subtitles are in Mandarin, so it's a little bit difficult to understand what he's trying to convey there. But the game seems to be in good shape. Again, that I don't think we have. No, we don't have. No, we have. Yes, sorry. A launch date August 29. The game seems to be in a good condition. The combat seems relatively fluid. It's the only problem that I see with this is Unreal Engine 4. I don't know if how well it's going to fare in terms of hardware, but yeah, it seems to be in a decent state, at least for now. Again, as a reminder, this project started from a single person, Young Bean, in 2014, and again, afterwards, after a few trailers were launched. He got invited for the China Hero project that PlayStation has. Again, and afterwards he did manage to expand a little bit more the team and improve the game. I'm assuming in terms of how we can run and all that jazz. But yeah, it seems very in line with kind of a Devil May Cry kind of a thing in terms of combat system and the such. Plus some RPG elements for the progression and upgrades of the characters and abilities and all that jazz. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Hopefully the game is good and it can sell pretty good to, again, to cater to the audience they're trying to cater, and demonstrate once again, when you do games to a broader audience, or an audience that buys games, you can sell well. In other stuff, we got Elden Ring Nightreign is going to bring up the dual stuff there, so two-player co-op mode. Again, the game only came with a free co-op mode and a solo mode. At the time, from the interviews, they always said that when they built the game was from the ground up on the free co-op mode. They didn't even thought about it doing a two-player co-op mode, but now after a lot of some pressuring from the gaming community and some demand there, they are finally going to bring this again. It took a while because again you have to balance the game around the fact that you have two players instead of one or three. It will come along with the version 1.02 of Nightreign with some UI improvements, also some relic filtering options. Again, it will come with a lot of with a new version of the game. Again, I didn't play the game. I'm not following up too much on this game. Again, usually it's not very tailored for me. Probably one of these days when it's on sale, I'll probably buy and do a solo stuff there to for myself because again, I like this kind of things to play by my own. I'm not very a multiplayer or co-op player. That's why I don't follow up too much. But it's interesting to see that they are doing pretty good, and I'm curious about this game and Duskbloods mainly because of the overall strategy from software on how they are approaching this kind of experiences they are making to I don't know inject some DNA and some experience of this kind of co-op kind of games and even multiplayer games and see how they can first party wise start incorporating better these aspects on other games that they will launch in the future there. For example, if they already launched this kind of games and have kind of a little bit more experience on dealing with this kind of systems, after if they launched Elden Ring with a little bit more asynchronous multiplayer stuff there, again, plus the invasions, again, there is a lot of stuff that they really want to tweak and experiment with to see what fits best for their overall vision on other projects that will come out eventually. And I think this is good because people are going about it. They are enjoying the tweaks and the experimentation that From Software is doing at this moment in time with Nightreign, and they are giving feedback to the studio, and the studio is incorporating this feedback, and it's showing that they are willing to tweak stuff according to player feedback to see what people are enjoying and what people are not enjoying, and basically cater to the customers and joining this experience of trying to make a better game by the end of the day. Something very interesting. And now, yeah, they are doing this the right way. They didn't expend a lot of stuff there. Again, there was the complaints of using Elden Ring and Dark Souls assets and characters and animations as such, but it was done on purpose because again, they didn't want to expend huge amount of resources to just for an experience, but they went about it in a very smart way of trying to use what they already know and tweak it on the co-op sense of things there for a game like this, which I really did enjoy seeing that they are able and willing to do this kind of experimentation and see how it goes and take that chance by doing their own thing, which is always good to see. And then lastly, we got another trailer, not a trailer, but a gameplay sequence from Phantom Blade Zero. Again, this game, again, we don't have still a definitive launch date. Hopefully, we'll get something that will come out. Again, the game will come to PlayStation 5 and PC. I think this is also comes from the China Europe project, kind of a thing that they're having there on PlayStation, if not mistaken. And we got a demo walkthrough around about 20 minutes or so. Again, this game looks pretty solid in terms of what you achieve in terms of the fluidity. The only thing that I think it's kind of nitpicky that I noticed again might be the format they recorded there, or I don't know if it is something regarding anything compression YouTube wise. It seems that LODs in characters it seems to be not fine tuned that much yet. Mainly because when you see characters at the end, they seem to skip and hop about a little bit there. It's a little bit weird, but as you approach it, the animation of the characters seem more fluid. I'm not sure that is something regarding. I think this is on also Unreal Engine game. I don't know if it's something there that it didn't fine tune yet that much. I think it's something that can be done relatively quickly. But yeah, gameplay is fluid. The combat is it's something that I didn't see for a long time. Very interesting. They showed up a boss they already showcased there, but yeah, the game seems pretty good. Um, Again, I'm willing to try out one of those. Again, it's not that kind of Dark Souls like. It's more action oriented, kind of whooshes kind of style. But yeah, it's got a lot of huge combos. The fluidity of the even the boss battles, the way they go about it, very interesting things happening there. But yeah, I do recommend if you're curious about this game to have a better sense of how this game will be in terms of boss battles and enemy confrontations, and even on the exploration side of things. This game seems to be more like closed areas or smaller areas, but there is some elements that you unlock, some shortcuts inside of those areas. It's not like an open world kind of a thing there, but yeah, very interesting what they are doing there. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here with some gaming deals. We still have a Plague Tale Requiem and Plague Tale Innocence on sale. Roundabout, they are on sale by individually or as a bundle, so you can take a chance there. We got Atomic Heart. All the versions are 70% off until 4th of August. We got Bionic May recent launch. Pretty positive feedback from everybody. 30% off, like a puzzle, gravity manipulation kind of a puzzle there. We got Deus Ex, Human Revolution Director's Cut. 85% off. I do recommend this game. I played, I don't know how long ago, but I did enjoy pretty much at the time when it came out. And then we got the sequel, Mankind Divided. I played a little bit, around 50 hours or so, but it's been a while. But I remember enjoying what I played there. 85% off. I think the digital deluxe edition might be a good one because it's got some extra content that can be played there. We got also Midnight Suns. I do recommend this game at this price point. Um, the only thing here, I still didn't look that much here. I'm not sure if it is. I think it's 2K. There is something regarding telemetry that they are using. I think that there's something happening there. A lot of the, I think 2K games have been dropping down in terms of reviews there regarding some complaints there on the terms and conditions. But again, this game is pretty good. I managed to claim it for free from Epic Game Store. It's kind of an XCOM game with some deck building things there. Again, I did enjoy it. I made a series out of it. You can check out the first couple episodes to have a sense of what this game is about. But yeah, I do recommend. Then we got Marvels of the Galaxy. I did also claim this for free on Epic Game Store. I didn't play yet. I will, if I play, I will play by my own because there is the audio stuff there. A lot of copyrighted audio there happening, and I don't want to bother too much on that thing there with the soundtrack there. But it seems pretty good. This game here. We got also Pacific Drive 50% off on the base game around about a day or so till it ends up. We got Tomb Raider Definitive Survival Trilogy, so all the free games with all the DLCs and all the things there, around about 80% off. It's again, this seems to be a pretty solid trilogy. I played the first two ones. I did enjoy it. I didn't play the last one yet, but probably I will do a series out of this trilogy. I will have to also replay Rise of Tomb Raider there. But yeah, and lastly we got Wall World. Again, this time it's on sale. The last time I brought this game, it was not on sale. Now it's on sale, 75% off. Again, excellent deal there. I do recommend the Deep Threat, which is a DLC. Again, it's like all added up like €3, give or take, with the DLC. Again, if you like this kind of games, we've got some tower defense, some boss battles, some mining, some roguelike elements there also. Again, I did enjoy this game. It will take around 40 hours or so to complete with the DLC. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable experience. I did enjoy that. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here for today with the plug my Patreon for access support. You know the deal regarding that. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.